Hello viewers, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So in this particular tutorial we are going to learn about the section of cylinder, right? And the specifications are like that. A cylinder of 200 mm diameter, base diameter is given, and the top diameter is given 200 mm, and the axis of the height of the cylinder is basically 200 mm, okay, which is which is rested on the base on HP. Further, it is cut by a sectional plane which is perpendicular to VP and inclined at 45 degrees to HP, which bisect the axis. Draw the sectional top view and the true shape of the section. So we will repeat the same process as we have done previously in the previous tutorial, right? So I'm going to draw one XY reference line, okay. Then basically I'm going to give the naming the text, okay. Select any point on the screen, point 2, rotation angle is 0. Okay, so this is basically my X, this is basically Y, this is my VP. In VP I always draw front view. This is my HP. In HP I always draw top view. This is my name and affiliation. Press escape. Okay, so first of all I am going to draw the base of the cylinder. Okay, so I am going to select the circle. Okay, from this particular point I am going to select the radius. So radius will be 1 AutoCAD unit. Therefore the diameter of the circle will be 200 mm. Okay, so you can check the dimensions here. So diameter, click here, okay, and click on snap. Okay, so click this particular point, you can check this is 200 mm circle. So convert into cyan color. I am going to divide this particular circle into equal number of parts, okay, right? And basically I'm going to convert this into cyan color. Okay, so this line and this line I'm going to convert it into cyan color. So now I can give the naming, the text, okay. Select any point on the screen. Now I am specifying point 1 and rotation angle is 0. Okay, so in the cylinder there are two bases. One is on the top and one is on the bottom, okay, or there are two circular faces. Okay, so here I can write down on the bottom A, right, and on upward A1. Okay, here basically B2, here is basically C3, and here is basically D4. Okay, then press escape. So this is my base. Right now what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw the perpendiculars from this particular line. Okay, selecting line from here. Okay, so from this particular point I'm going to draw perpendicular here. Similarly from this particular point I'm going to draw perpendicular. From this particular point I'm going to draw perpendicular. Okay, so now basically I'm going to convert the base into and click on snap. Okay, so base into thick color. Okay, so LWT I'm going to do, and I'm going to convert this particular projectors into cyan color. Further, the base I'm going to draw it here. Okay, so the height of the cylinder is basically 200 mm. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw one. So here I'm going to click on snap. Okay, so height I'm going to take 200 mm. So this is basically 2 AutoCAD units. So here it is going to join again. From this particular it is going to join, and this particular point it is going to join it. Okay, and I'm immediately converting into thick color. So for the timing let it be why I'm going to tell you right now. Okay, so now convert this particular axis also, join it. Okay, so this is basically the axis. Okay, so you can convert it into hidden line. So select load, and from here hidden to command will be there. Okay, so this particular things you have to select, and then you have to select this line as hidden to, as you can check. So you can give the naming, the text, select any point on the screen. Okay, height 0 and rotation angle is 0. Okay, so this particular point is my A dash. Okay, this particular point is my B dash and D dash. This particular point is my C dash. Okay, here basically it will be 1 dash, this is basically 2 dash, 4 dash, and this particular point is my 3 dash. Okay, press escape. Okay, right, and this is basically the base P or apex O, right, but there is no apex or here in case of cylinder. Okay, so now I'm going to convert this particular line into white color. So mistakenly it is converted into cyan color. Okay, now this is basically I can give the naming here, the text, select any point on the screen. Okay, point to rotation angle is 0. So this is basically my true shape of the base. This is basically my true shape of the solid, right? Press escape. Okay, now what I'm going to do is basically I'm going to mark the midpoint of this axis. Okay, so here I'm going to select the point, and from here basically, so this will be I think the midpoint, okay, of this particular axis. Okay, and from this particular line point I'm going to draw one sectional plane, okay, which will be inclined 45 degree to HP. Okay, so what I'm going to do is basically first of all I'm going to draw one or escape. Okay, I'm going to draw one horizontal line. Okay, from here press escape, then I'm going to select this particular line and I'm going to rotate it. Okay, and the point will be here along this point and the angle will be 45 degree, so you can check. Okay, now this is cut on this particular side, so there is not a particular space. What I'm going to do is I'm going to press Ctrl Z here. Okay, and this particular text I'm going to take on this particular side. Press escape. Okay, Z, enter, A, enter. So now I'm going to select this, select rotate command. Okay, along this particular midpoint and the angle will be minus 45. So now you can check. So now I can easily draw my views here. Okay, so now basically this is a section plane, okay, which basically cut to this particular axis. Okay, so I can convert this particular section plane into a hidden line. Okay, so that it should be visible. Now I can convert this particular line and this particular line into thick color. Okay, as you can check. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is basically I'm going to draw to this section plane. Okay, and from this particular point I'm going to draw the projectors here. So this is my one point. Okay, so this is going to cut here. Okay, at this particular point, so let us say this particular point is D text. Okay, D text, select any point on the screen. Okay, point 1 will be the text height and rotation angle is 0. So this particular axis it is cut at particular point. So let us say this particular point is here it is cut at this particular point. So let us say this is M, right, or let us say M, a small m. Okay, it is basically M and O, N dash O dash, N dash O dash. Okay, and here it is basically cut at P dash. Okay, and here is also M dash. So what I can do is basically here I can write down M dash. Okay, and press here. So this is basically my section plane. Okay, press escape. Okay, and this particular section plane is cut at an angle of 45 degrees, so you can check that. Okay, so convert this into cyan color. Press escape. Right, so this particular section plane is now cut to the perpendicular to the VP and is inclined 45 degrees to HP. So now these 2 points are already there on the line. Okay, 3 and C line there is point P dash, so I'm going to mark the points here. Okay, and this particular distance is how much I don't know, right? So from this particular point, how I'm going to do that, this particular center. Okay, so this particular point is also cutted here. Okay, so from this particular point I'm going to mark this N dash and O dash. So now I'm going to mark this particular point. So on A dash 1 dash there is point M, so A dash and 1 there is point M, so and this particular point there will be D text. I'm going to write it. Okay, select any point on the screen, point 1. Okay, rotation angle is 0. So this particular point is my M. Okay, or M, and then there is basically B2. So B2 on line B2 basically, okay, there is point N. So let us say this particular point is N. Okay, and D4, so D4 there is point O, so this particular point is basically O, and for C3 there is particular point P. Okay, so now I have marked all the points, okay, on this particular point. So you can check, this is basically joining all the circles, so circle is already marked. Okay, so how I'm going to do is I'm going to write H command here. Okay, and I'm going to add the select object here. Okay, I'm going to select the object, right, then press enter, right, and I'm going to select. Okay, it's not selected. Okay, so I'm going to select the object. Okay, then pressing enter. Okay, now the object is selected and I'm going pressing to OK. So this is basically the sectional top view of the cylinder. Okay, so I can write down here the text, selecting any point on the screen, point 2 will be the rotation as the height, and rotation angle is 0. So this is nothing but the sectional top view. Okay, now I need to draw basically, right? So Z enter, A enter. I need to draw true shape of the sections. Okay, so how I'm going to draw? So I'm going to draw the true shape of the section here. Okay, so just before that I'm going to mark the dimensions here, or just below that I'm going to take the perpendicular. Okay, so just before that what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw one XY reference line, or X1 Y1. So Control C, Control V, right, and I'm going to draw here, let us say here. Okay, press escape and I'm going to convert it into line. Okay, so this is my X1 Y1 reference line. Okay, so I can write down later on. Now I need to draw perpendicular from this particular point. Okay, so here I'm going to do it. Okay, so from this particular point or section plane I'm going to draw perpendicular here. Okay, so this is now perpendicular, so now I'm going to extend the line. Okay, so let us say here. Okay, press escape, Control J. Okay, so here basically I'm going to draw. So from this particular point I'm going to draw one perpendicular here. Okay, and then going to extend it. So this is my one of the reference line. Similarly, projector line from this particular N dash O dash I'm going to draw. See, this is perpendicular and I'm going to extend it. Okay, so this is my another projector line. Similarly, from point P dash, okay, I'm going to draw one perpendicular here and they're going to extend it. Okay, press escape. So I'm going to convert this particular line into cyan color. Press escape. Now this is XY X1 Y1 reference plane, so I can write down for your reference the text. Select any point on the screen, point 2 will be height and rotation angle is 0. This text very less than X1 Y1 reference plane. Okay, press escape, Z enter, A enter. Okay, now I'm going to mark all these point M and O and P basically on this particular projector line. So for that I need to measure the dimensions here. Okay, so align. So from this particular XY reference line, this particular dimension is something 1.75. Again going to select the align dimensions. Okay, from this particular point or XY reference, press escape. Okay, so dimensions, align from this particular point and this particular point. Okay, this is another dimensions. Okay, so this is 0.75. Okay, similarly selecting aligned. Okay, uh, from this particular point to this particular point, this is basically 2.75. so what I'm going to do is I'm going to convert all the dimension into cyan color. So now from this reference plane, so my here M point is basically Z, enter A, enter. Okay, so from my XY reference plane, my M point is basically from this point is 1.75. so what I'm going to do is I'm going to select a circle. Okay, and this is as a center. I'm going to draw 1.75. okay, as a radius. Okay, so now you can check. So I'm going to extend this particular line here again. Now it is crossing. Okay, so I got, so what I'm going to do is escape. I'm going to select all these text. I'm going to move a little bit up. Is it possible? Yes, it is possible. Okay, escape. Now I got this particular point. Okay, so this is basically my 1 point. Okay, so for the dimension measurement you can check the dimensions align from this particular point and this particular point. This is my 1.75. okay, then I'm going to delete this circle. Okay, I got one particular point, right? Similarly from n dash o dash line, so from this particular point how much distance is n dash is basically 0.75. okay, n dash is basically 0.75. so how I'm going to do is I'm going to select the circle, selecting this as a center point and 0.75 as a radius. Okay, so I got another point here. Okay, press escape and I'm going to delete this particular circle. So I got another point. Similarly n dash is basically 2.75. so similarly from this particular projector I'm going to select the circle. Okay, and I'm going to put the radius at 2.75. okay, so now you can check. So I got this particular point here. Okay, and now press escape. I'm going to delete this circle. And similarly now from the P dash projector line I'm going to draw one circle of dimensions 0.75 because this M and P are lies on the same distance. So from this particular point I'm going to draw 1.75 radius. Okay, so press escape. I got this particular point. Okay, and now I'm going to delete this particular circle. Now what I'm going to do is basically I'm going to convert it into cyan color. Okay, I'm going to join it by and ellipse. Basically let us say ellipse is possible here, so this particular point and this particular point. So yes, this is basically the ellipse is possible. Okay, so this is basically the true shape of the sectional plane. Okay, so I'm going to convert it into thick color. Okay, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to mark the point here, the text, select any point on the screen. Okay, point 2 will be the text height and rotation angle is 0. So this particular point is my M1 dash, right, or basically M1. Okay, this particular point is my nearest point is basically O, so O1. This particular point is my P1 and this particular point is my N1. Okay, but this is not okay. So this is basically the sectional top view or true shape of the section. So I'm going to convert it into hatching line. So selecting H in the command box. Okay, the window will open. Now I need to select the object. Okay, so I'm going to select it, add the object. So I'm selecting this particular, enter. Okay, and now I'm pressing OK button. So this is not possible. Okay, repeat the command, H, selecting object. Okay, so this is my object, press enter, and then press OK, right? So this is basically the text, selecting any point on the screen. Okay, height will be 0.2 and rotation angle is 0. Okay, so this is basically my top view, or here I can write down shape of the section. Okay, and plus check that I have written all the points. Okay, dimensions I should have given. So this particular dimension and this particular point is basically 2. Press escape, convert it into cyan color. Okay, hit enter, enter. So now you can check all the things are properly defined. Okay, projector lines are converted into cyan color, everything is there. Okay, section top view, right? So perfectly I have drawn. So this is basically the solution for this kind of problem statement. If you like this video, please like, share and subscribe.